Hi, I'm going to do a review between Fennec Elves and Savanna Elves. The Fennec Elves are played by PassiveAssasin and the Savanna Elves by Ciabatta Bread. I decided to do this match. This is from the tournament I'm running right now. I decided to do this match because this week's matchup in the league is Fennec Elves versus Savanna Elves. I want to give first some thoughts I have about the matchup. To be honest, Maldaria is probably my weakest summoner. I don't know, really, I don't do well with her compared to her potential power and what other people do with her. So it's hard for me to talk about Maldaria. I still play her, and so I have opinions. I played this matchup, and honestly, it feels bad for Maldaria. I think it's maybe 4-6, maybe worse. I'm very interested to see the numbers. I don't think this is by any chance like a positive matchup for Maldaria. There are several reasons for this. The first is to start is that the Ember Mage is kind of useless here. It doesn't like Swift Shaft is obviously very good, and then you have Rhinoceros, which just trample it, and basically between those two units, your Ember Mages in your deck doesn't exist. That's basically it. So you started with one less unit, which is fine. The problem is you don't have also great units for the matchup. The biggest threat you have is the Border Archer. And the reason for that is that the best way to fight Malaria is from range. And the Archer has two qualities that makes it very hard for Malaria. One, that it's range. And the second is that it's actually quite tough to kill. So you can like, when an Archer, for example, has on its own no chance of killing it, unlike other Archers in the game. So that to start is pretty bad. And yeah, I mean, Maldaria struggles to kill it. I mean, generally the best tool you have to kill an archer is with Maldaria, but even Maldaria just struggles to one-shot it. So I think that Abua should use all the archers in the deck and Ru, and that should be pretty hard for Maldaria to deal with its own. And because of that range superiority, I think the way for Maldaria to kind of counter that is it has to pressure. It has to pressure Abua, and that's not easy either. And there are like 3 reasons for that. The first reason is that the gate for Abua is very far away, so it's hard early on to start an offensive. The second reason is that Maldaria has low life, and the Abua has the tools to counterattack very hard with very strong combos. So it's very easy to just one sleep mistake, maybe one missed shot, and just Maldaria is boom, death. And the reason it's very hard to mount an offensive is because Ember Mage being quite bad. One of the ways Maldaria has to start a push is that threat with an Ember Mage, like a possible like offensive gate to bring beasts out of it. But because mages, as I said, are so easy to kill, she's missing that option. So generally, to start an offensive, what you need is one of the champions. And I like one of the cheap champions. Holias obviously is ideal, but avoiding that is just very hard. And while you struggle to get an offensive struggle, you're going to be poked by border archers with no real way to counter them. So yeah, that for all those reasons is that I find the matchups significantly hard, but not that hard. And there are some positives for Maldaria. One of the positives is that Abua doesn't actually have that many ways. The way Maldaria can deal with archers that well, Abua can deal with the guardians quite well, which is one of the key units in my opinion in the matchup. I suggest to keep many guardians trying to in hand to play them, just playing a Guardian and pushing something into Maldaria's range is still very powerful. Another can be just shoving it in the Archer range from relatively safe distance. So I think that's one of the strongest points of Maldaria. I also think that as long as Avua tries to play a range game, Maldaria can slow the game a little until she can pack enough magic for one of the champions that really needs. And finally, the final comment I'm going to do about the matchup is, in this game, I think Retribution is a very good event because it prevents the border archers from actually being functional. So in that sense, that's kind of your counter to border archers. You can use a Retribution turn to push, knowing that archers are not going to be that useful or that good. So with all that said, let's see this match how it goes. I think, like I said, Malaria has some issues here, but still, I think it's winnable. But I'm not the best Malaria player, so maybe it's closer. Maybe it's 5.5 to 6.5, or maybe it's actually 3.7 or even worse. I don't know. I didn't play the matchup enough. So let's see how it goes. This Savanna start. It Spirit Mage, very reasonable. And yeah, interesting. Just trying to keep the distance, which is the way I would approach this. For instance, I already mentioned. Good for, yeah, and this matchup decide to use Ember Mage. I don't think it's great, but sometimes it's what you need. However, I think personally I will maybe summon the beast. Maybe I'll use this opportunity to just Ember Mage Beast. You can do that here. I think I would go with that. I really, I think the extra damage you get is definitely worth it. Maybe you had the chance to one-shot it. So I would go for that. But well, in this case, if anyone else decide not to. I think one of the problems of the Guardian is like this. You can just shove here with the Guardian. But I think it's important to start moving Maldaria up. Let's see if he does that. Because you need her to move forward to start placing gates. Just threat with her high attack units. That's what it does. It's just fine. Another thing I mentioned about the Guardian side, why they are good, you can push an archer. And now the archer, you can push the archer into situations where, like this, it needs to choose between moving or prepare. So that's pretty good. That's one of the reasons why Guardians are, I think, the best common in this matchup. So let's see what it does here. Midikiru coming super fast. One of the reasons I think Savanna Elves starting is very dangerous is because they can do this. Because their strong starting setup, they don't need to summon anything first turn, and if they did, and they get burn, and then just summon a champion next turn, and both champions that can summon next turn are pretty good. So there's boosting, very good use of Midiguru support. It's one of the reasons it's so good. Sometimes just using it as support is scary enough. They're attacking Timber Mage. Then killing, missing the archer, pretty good for Maldaria here. Here moving forward, it's pretty good. I don't know, let's go back a little. I was thinking, no, it's okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking maybe here you can play the beast, and the beast will instantly kill the spirit mage, and then just move forward. I don't know if it's a great move, just something to think about. Sometimes people forget, I don't know if it was the case, maybe it was very, I can't find a word, but it was a thought decision. Like, he knew what he was doing, but sometimes people forget that archers can also be used for beasts. It's rare for them surviving, but when they do. Anyway, yeah, I think it's very hard to believe that it wasn't a great play, the beast. It will do 2 damage, instantly kill the spirit mage. and then you can do some trickery. I don't know, it will be, I don't know, it's something to think about. Yeah, every time you can attack with Malaria, you should shield. Just that counter there. It becomes an interesting position. Here, she does color protection Timber Mage, which is fine. But saving a counter is something very valuable, and I don't know if it's worth to expose yourself to an archer or not for that counter. Probably not. Probably this is the correct play. But I really try, and maybe that's why I'm not going to do Andari. I really try to get boost and not using on the same turn and just wait for to save one very valuable unit. Anyway, let's see. On the wing. Interesting. Yeah, this is a dangerous. Rhinoceros here can clean very first and then attack another area. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like Ember Mages at all in this matchup. And why Guardians are so important. I think you really want to have all Guardians in this match. And this reason only just focus on killing the Rhino. Not let open any unit for counterattack. We're moving to a forward position. It's fine, but I don't think Malaria cares much about this. One thing I like about this is, like I said, the boost on Malaria. That's pretty good. Oh, very interesting. I don't know what to think about that, but this gate is obviously great. This one, I don't know, but can't complain either. So going for that power shot, yes. Malaria got lucky there. But that's what another reason this matchup is bad. I don't know if I mentioned it well. But yeah, Border Archer is very good killing with power shot, kind of first kill the front unit and then kill Malaria. And that's very problematic, which is one of the many, everything that's up, which is why I think this matchup is bad for Malaria. Burn. I really like Burn. I use it. I think Burn is one of those spells that if you can use it, you use it. I mean, just do 2 damage for free, just too good. I guess you don't use it if you don't have anything to use the attacks from. Like, if you are not using the other 2 attacks, then you probably not do. But otherwise, yeah, it's just so efficient. Archer there, doing good work. Burmish there. This is a very well, despite all the problems I mentioned, this is, I think, still is pretty decent use of Malaria. It's trying to recover the front of the gate, but still just having this Ember Mage. It's just, I don't know, just so many so easy ways for a way to get through this. Yeah, another bad shot. Then I will say, Malaria is doing a great job. I mean, Abua has right now 13 magic settling economy against 18, and Malaria has a champion, a full champion life, and has this unit. I think economically, Malaria is winning the war, despite having only 6 life. I would say at this point, from a Malaria point of view, I mean, I'm very economic guy. I just really care to just try to last someone economically. I would just try to play very conservative. Try to slow down the game if possible, and try to bring Holias to the front run. To the front. I'm bad at some words. And just play very careful with Malaria, not taking risk. Because I think here Malaria is just winning economically. And I think the problem is this gate going down is going to be bad, but yeah, I will play quite defensive here. Very slow. Good shot, bringing Holias the center of the war to support the army. Oh, nice shot from Alaria. That looks very good. See, it did. Okay. But this looks pretty good from Alaria. That means the is gonna die, and now it's gonna shoot. I'm not very comfortable about this Ember Mage working as protection. I think maybe this turn I will use a flare. This isn't looking good. I mean, the reason I will use flare is because I think that the way the game is going, the only way. I mean, you can lose. I mean, you can be outplayed. I mean, the magic difference is not so big, but I think the biggest threat is to lose by assassination. I will just spend the flare to just try to. I will use the flare to try to not die this turn, and then just try to play more safely. Maybe Holias here, because it's going to be the biggest target. Yeah, now all this and now flare. This looks if I were Maldaria, I would be pretty happy with my position here. If I were Abu, I would be worried. And the weaving. Oh, this. Another rhinoceros. Oh, you're dead? That's so sad. No, you're not dead. Are you dead? No. Flare doing its job. It's Flare. And now I think I would stop at this point. I think right now, maybe it's not obvious, but I think Maldaria is economically in a great situation. But obviously, one mistake and you're dead. So I will just do everything in my power to just. I mean, and I will do suboptimal plays, just to not let my Maldaria let kill. I know this archer here and Maldaria with a way is tempting to try to do some damage, but my focus here will be to play defensive. Let's see what PassiveAssasin does. I fear what he's gonna do. I don't like this. Just Maldaria is going to be very open there. Yeah, no, I don't like. No. I don't like this at all. I think this risk was unnecessary. I'm not. Yeah. I agree with this. This is otherwise funny chant of power, because I'm always losing this game, and this is the only chance to win. This opening left by Maldaria, and yeah, completely reasonable. Just you have to get through and just take this shot. You're going to lose anyway. Otherwise, I like that there is no other way to win. So yeah. Oh, I think I backed the game, which is sad. Oh, we can see that our Savanna won. Let's see if I can replay, but I know, yeah, she probably shots and then just. Yeah, it's sad because I think Maldaria would had. I mean, maybe it will be assassinated if the game went on normally, but I think this risk was unnecessary. Maldaria could play more defensive, just lose some value and play it more safe, but anyway, otherwise great game by PassiveAssasin. Actually, I think it was winning most of the game, but that's the problem with Maldaria. You do one mistake and suddenly you're dead, especially against Abua. But well, I guess don't do that mistake and then you can win. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this matchup.